just said he was proud of me and that I went in there and just stepped up and did my thing. But yet again, just we got to learn from what we did right and wrong and just kind of move on from there. So I mean, I'm glad I got the opportunity. I'm glad he reached out to me and told me that. And just being able to go in there the next day and watch the film with him and him kind of walking through it with me and Sean also talking about kind of what I saw and why I did certain things was really valuable.
And the feedback from Sean.
Yeah, I mean, also throughout the game, I mean, every single time I come off the sideline, he'd be right there and kind of talking me through like what he's seen and what I'm seeing and why I'm making certain decisions and what he agrees with and stuff like that. So that's always really valuable because I'm that guy for him too when he's in, and we can just count on each other like that. So yeah, him being there, being able to play the last 9 to 10 games before that, whatever it was, just kind of he knows that he's seen a lot of things that I had seen on the field, so he can relate to me like that.
Given if you do get extended reps, are you seeing this as an addition going into the spring? And I don't know if you're looking to think that far ahead.
No, I'm just focused on the pitch right now.
James talked about how each guy's journey might be different than they thought it would be when they got to Penn State. I'm wondering, how have you learned to be patient this year and then be ready when you go in, and kind of how do you stay positive even when maybe you're not getting the reps that you want to get?
Yeah, I mean, even like coming in here for the first time, I know a lot of guys kind of want to get to wherever they're going to school and kind of play right away. And I was kind of came in the spot. I was like the fourth string and running the scout team, and so I kind of learned that value of just patience and kind of waiting for your time and just continuing to have the same mindset from a preparation standpoint, regardless of like what string you are. And that helped me a lot for going into the spring and then camp and then the season this year. And yeah, I mean, it's something that in terms of preparation standpoint that I've taken pride in, and it's helped me a lot to this point.
James also said that he thought Ricky's Slade really has handled this season while maybe he's not getting the reps that he thought he would want to get. He was out last week. From a teammate's perspective, how have you seen Ricky kind of go through the season and still contribute?
Yeah, he keeps a positive attitude every time he's out here. I mean, he's a great player. He does his responsibilities as well as anyone else. And while he might not have the reps that he might want, I think that we can count on him whenever he's out there on the field. So, I mean, he's a dynamic player. When he gets his opportunities, he makes the most of them. He can always break one big, which is huge. And he's just a great guy, a great friend of mine. So he's a great person to have on the team.
How did you find out about Shoulder and what was the response?
I actually just got a notification on my phone and I saw, and I was kind of surprised, honestly. But I mean, I wish him the best, and I mean, I don't really know where his head is at. I'm going to reach out to him in the near future. I don't know whenever I feel like it's appropriate. But I mean, I wish him the best, and I think hope he figures out what he wants to figure out.
How does that work, I guess, from the locker room standpoint? Because we see it from one side, but you're in there with everybody every day. And one of the biggest things we've heard how tight this locker room and this team is. And then something like that happens. What goes through your mind when you see or hear something?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, it's a big family environment, and the first thing that goes through our mind is, especially he's in my class, so it's like, dang, like it's my brother. Like we came in together, we had all these aspirations together when we came in about what we're going to do here, and then when you see a decision like that being made, you got to know that one, he's doing it for the best. Or at least he's doing what he thinks is best for him and his family. But you are at that same time kind of like let down a little bit. But like I said again, I wish him all the best, and you never know what he's going to do. So.
Do you feel that same way about because it's for him and his family? That always comes up when it comes to transferring or it comes to leaving early for the draft. Is there a lot of pressure there? For you specifically, do you feel a lot of pressure for you, not just you and your time at school, but also your family and career aspirations and stuff like that? Is that all a part of it when you think about that stuff too?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the closest thing to me besides anything is God and football. And so, I mean, God and my family and then football. So, you got to take your family into account in any decision, what it is, whether it's academic or athletically. So, I don't know how important it is, but you definitely do have to think about the implications.
How much being out there on Saturday whetted your appetite to be out there on a regular basis?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I love football and I want to play as much as I can. So, my appetite's always been big. I've always been wanting to go out there and play, but to be able to get that opportunity and just make the most of it was kind of just pushed me to kind of want more, I guess, a little bit. So, I mean, I'm going to take whatever opportunity I can and make the most of it.
Well, what is your approach like this week, knowing that there's a very good chance that you will play in some capacity on Saturday?
The same approach has been all season, ever since I got here, really. I mean, just taking reps and mental reps whenever I'm in or not in, as if I am the starter. And, I mean, getting more reps might be a possibility on Saturday, but it doesn't really affect how I approach practicing.
What do you think of the line, and have you talked to Tommy in the past about how he handled it?
No, I haven't really talked to him about it. I mean, I just know that I'll do whatever the coach is asking me, and if that's being in a position like that, then I'm glad to help.
How would you grade yourself or give yourself a critique from Saturday? I know you're probably hard on yourself. Most players are, but what's a realistic critique from you on Saturday?
I think the biggest thing is that, I mean, the only thing that matters really was the win or loss column. Obviously, we didn't come away with the win, and there's definitely some things going back in the tape that I could have very easily made happen that I just failed to do. So I'm obviously critical of myself on that. I mean, I made some plays here and there, but those are kind of, some of them are plays that I expected myself. Some of them, I mean, just good football plays on my part, I think. But I mean, I think I did all right, but obviously disappointed in not getting the win.
How do you balance that between being critical and also keeping your own self-confidence? Because I know that there can be a line there.
You got to stay positive. I mean, it showed me that it is like kind of like a baseline for like what I can kind of build on. So I think that my ceiling's higher than like what I put on display, and I know that I can always work on that. And that being like my first meaningful reps, kind of gave me the confidence kind of going into the rest of my career. So you got to take constructive criticism, but you do always have to keep that positive attitude. And I'm kind of keeping that positive attitude and knowing that I'm only going to get better from this point forward.
Two more for Levis.
Since Saturday, what's the best bit of advice that you've gotten from Sean McVay, or something that stuck with you?
I guess kind of just continuing to keep that mindset of just kind of, I think we were texting the group chat yesterday just saying how like regardless of what happens this week in terms of who's playing or what's going on, who's getting the reps in practice, you got to keep that same mindset, just keep that same goal, keep that same energy throughout the offense. It's like our goal and our kind of ideology of just going down there and scoring every drive. It doesn't matter whether it's the ones or the threes. So like you got to just keep emphasizing with the rest of the team and kind of getting everyone on the same page and keeping everyone pushing forward.
Is there a segment of the year, whether it's winter workouts or spring practice or even during the season, where you feel like the most development occurs, player development?
I'd say camp in the summer, just because again, you do feel like you're like a pro football player for the most part. Most of the camp, there's no class or anything, so you really are just focused on football. And it's a grind. Like you're up in the morning and up late at night, and it's basically all football. So I mean, you can't really escape it. You can't really help it to get better. So just if you come into it with the right approach and the right mindset, and I know it's a pain in the butt sometimes, but we get a lot better throughout that process, and just from a mental and physical standpoint.